When a family in Northern California decides to spend their afternoon amidst the clouds, their trip goes from peaceful to chaotic in a matter of seconds. With their lives on the line, a brilliant, unexpected fix appears just in the nick of time.
38-year-old Artem Kononuk, along with his wife and their 2-year-old child, are buzzing with excitement. Artem, who is an amateur pilot, has chartered a plane for the family to spend their spring afternoon flying above the Northern California scenery.
After takeoff, the family and the plane are gliding south, observing the treetops as they head towards their family home in Santa Rosa.
That's when the chug of the plane's engine stops. It's just lost all power, 2,600 feet above the trees.
Artem is desperately trying to restart the aircraft, but he's running out of altitude very quickly. Artem's big challenge is that there's no field anywhere in sight. He's looking down on a vast expanse of forest with no place to put the aircraft down.
It's quite possible that the terrain collision avoidance system called TCAS is screaming at them, terrain, terrain, pull up, pull up. And there's nothing that they can do because they have no power to that engine.
His wife and child are beginning to freak out. He then tells them, brace for impact.
That's when something unbelievable happens.
There's suddenly a jolt, and then calm. The plane feels like it's just floating.
Are they being carted off to the pearly gates by angels? Not quite.
Artem has just pulled the lever to deploy the Cirrus Airframe Parachute System, or CAPS.
This is actually a parachute for an entire aircraft. This is a 2,400 square foot parachute that deploys by virtue of a rocket that gets it open very quickly, and it has the effect of slowing the descent of the aircraft from dangerous and fatal speed to a survivable speed.
Because it is at the weight center of the plane, it keeps the aircraft completely level.
The airplane parachute is invented by Cirrus co-founder Alan Klapmeyer after he survives a mid-air collision in 1985. After that experience, he decides that he is going to put a life-saving parachute in every single Cirrus plane.
Luckily for the Kononuk family, by 1998, this becomes a reality.
Miraculously, they are more or less unscathed. They have survived this horrible incident, and now they also have a great family story where they can talk about how one parachute saved 3 people.
To date, this airplane parachute system has saved 249 lives. Maybe one day they'll put one on the red eye out of Los Angeles, just in case. Next up, something unusual that protects against a different type of disaster.
In China, in 2008 and 2010, there were 2 devastating earthquakes that hit in the middle of the night and ended up killing thousands of people, mostly because they were crushed by buildings that collapsed.
This leads an ambitious inventor by the name of Wang Wenqi to come up with an idea that could save your life from the comfort of your own bed.
In 2010, Wang secures the patent for his invention known as an earthquake bed.
Say, for example, you're in bed with your wife or your husband and an earthquake happens. A series of sensors detect vibrations, and within seconds, the mattress folds you and your loved one into a taco and draws you into the reinforced steel frame beneath the bed.
Once you and your partner have hit the bottom of the metal box, the steel bed frame slabs slide into place and provide a lid for you. So now you're enclosed in this giant metal box, basically, that's going to protect you from any sort of falling debris.
It's said the earthquake bed can resist 6,000 pounds of vertical roof load, so that even if the building you're in collapses, you won't be crushed by the debris.
And while you're waiting to be rescued, you still get to enjoy all the comforts of home.
The earthquake bed is a little bit more than just a bed. It's almost like a studio apartment. It's got a ventilation system, it's got food, it's got water, it's got a gas mask.
It's got a makeshift toilet, which sounds gross, but if you think about it, is super necessary. And wait for for it, there's Wi-Fi.
Most importantly of all, there's a radio beacon, so rescuers can pinpoint your exact location.
The base model bed starts around $6,000, but you can upgrade it from there if you want to put in, say, a TV, maybe a nice bar.
A person or persons can survive for about a week in there before being rescued. That means you can just stay in there, you can binge watch your favorite shows, you can take calls, you can close important deals, you can do whatever you want.
Guess it's time to ditch that "I can't work today, I'm stuck in the rubble of an earthquake" excuse.
Cambodia is the site of a great deal of Cold War combat, stretching from the 1960s all the way through to the 1990s.
During this time, combatant groups found landmines to be a very effective way of fighting the war.
It's an extremely reliable weapon. You can put it somewhere, walk away, and forget about it.
Long after the war ends, the forgotten landmines remain buried, turning ordinary fields into death traps.
By 2016 in Cambodia, it is estimated there are close to 6 million active landmines and other undetonated explosives spread throughout the countryside.
Now, you have to appreciate how incredibly scary this is. They have absolutely no record of where these mines and these bombs are. They could be anywhere.
For years, the solution has been to send bomb experts in body armor using metal detectors and soil density detectors. But this is expensive. It's very, very slow. Also, it's incredibly dangerous.
That's when a plan comes along to bring in an unusual squadron of bomb detectives to sniff out the problem.
About 5,000 miles away, in the country of Tanzania, there is an organization called APOPO. APOPO are using giant African pouched rats to sniff out landmines in conflict areas around the globe.
The giant African pouch rat is kind of the perfect bomb-sniffing animal. They actually have very bad eyesight, so they really rely on this incredibly fine-tuned sense of smell to do just about everything, to navigate, to find food, and so on.
They call them hero rats, and their noses are even more sensitive than those found on dogs.
There's also another crucial benefit that works in their favor.
Most mines take approximately 11 pounds of pressure to set off the detonation switch. Well, the heaviest an African pouched rat can be is 2 to 2.5 pounds, so they can traverse the terrain incredibly well and safely.
So how do you get a rat to sniff out a landmine?
Mine-sniffing rats take about a year to train. At 10 weeks, the pups are weaned from their mothers and given basic clicker training, where they learn to associate the sound of a click with a tasty food reward.
Then they're introduced to a small metal ball containing TNT. When they sniff it, they'd hear a click and they'd get a little tasty reward, like a banana.
From there, they're taken to the field, where they begin to train with real but deactivated landmines.
By 2016, the Cambodian government is ready to put these African mine-sniffing rats to work.
They're going to be targeting the Srey Nui area of Siem Reap, where it is known that the farmland is littered with anti-personnel mines.
The rats are brought out to a field where they'll be working, and they're all hooked to a string that's about knee height.
Picture a grid system in which each rat is hooked to a line via a short leash. And as they are sent out along this grid system, they trail behind them a measuring tape. So when the rat detects a mine, the handler can pinpoint its exact spot.
Once a mine is detected, the rats signal to their handlers.
The rats put their noses high up into the air and sniff while enthusiastically scratching at the ground in front of them.
The hero rats are not only thorough, they're able to work incredibly efficiently. It could take a crew of human beings 5 days to clear an area the size of a tennis court. Hero rats could do that in 30 minutes.
Since 2016, hero rats have found roughly 1,200 anti-personnel mines and more than 700 unexploded bombs in Cambodia.